Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggaeboyz who take the lead.
Greetings, football lovers. Happy Football Sunday. Welcome to Ballchat Podcast. My name is Benton, one of your hosts, part of the family, along with the General Junior and the wonderful Cameroon. Wagwan family. Wagwan Ballchat family. Junior and Cameroon, how are you guys doing?
We are good. Well, I am good. I am top of the league, so I'm good. Top of the table, so I'm good.
Yeah, we don't hand out trophy in October. Come on.
Oh, tell that to Manchester United fans.
Manchester United corner still dark. Junior, how you doing, family?
I had a successful therapy session this week, and I am going to be using the strategies that I have learned through my therapy. So, go ahead.
I thought you said you're going to do a house on fire as your background image for Manchester United going forward. Is that? I thought it was going to be rolled out today, Junior.
Big up to Dr. Jean Francine, my therapist, my football therapist, and she said that would not be a good idea.
Be a good idea. Football family, we have a special guest joining us. Of course, we're at the international break. We're getting ready for World Cup qualifiers, CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers especially, but we have a special guest to talk about club football and the lay of land in the EPL and the lay of land in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. We have Eric Neal of the Two Rash Challenges podcast, a Newcastle United fan, but one of our brethren, a deep knowledge on football. Eric, how you doing, family?
I'm going to need the number of that therapist. Newcastle, 7 matches, no wins on the season. I don't know. I need professional help.
So Dr. Jean will be getting extra business this international break. Football family, you know how we do it every Sunday. We discuss some of the major news in the world of football. At the top end of the show is all about club football. We're going to discuss a match of the week where we discuss Man City versus Liverpool. Take a deep dive into that game. We'll also have World Cup qualifiers. We'll look at the lay of the land in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Get ready for Jamaica Reggaeboyz versus Team USA on Thursday coming on, and other games in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. If you're watching us on Flow Sports Ballchat YouTube page or Ballchat Facebook page, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the content. We always kick it off with Ballers and Bugs. Ballers being impressive players of the week and Bugs being unimpressive. Eric, you are the guest and the family. Who do you have as your ball of the week as an impressive players?
I have to go with, I'm going to speak from my match that was the Wolves Newcastle, but it's Hwang Hee-chan from Wolves. Man, unstoppable. I don't know how he didn't end up getting a hat trick against us. I think that was the only good thing in our match. But the power, the pace, the finishing, he was clinical, man. And a lot of my good friends who play FIFA on the Xbox or the PlayStation will say that this guy was lots of trouble last year because those players, they come out with the amazing pace and there's nothing you can do. He's like that in real life. He's like a real life cheat code. Our defense didn't know what to do with him. And, he's just like Adama Traore, except he can actually finish when he gets in there, right? So I can see these guys both like staring each other down in the Wolves locker room before the match, rubbing themselves down with the oil, trying to decide, who's going to get the call. And here it comes. It's Chan. I don't know if Traore will ever get back in. So he was my baller of the week, man. Well done. I hate that it happened against us, but too good.
Yeah, big up to Chan. Had a very good game. Eric's ball of the week. Come on, who do you have as your ball of the week? Football family, if you have ballers and bugs, send them on. We'll go ahead and highlight them. Come on, who do you have as your ball of the week, family?
I have 2, and I have to give it up to Mo Salah. He had an assist and a goal in the 2-2 draw versus Man City, and I think he scored 101?
Yes, 101 goals. You keeping that running tab last week. He scored 100.
And I keep saying, I think he's one of the most underrated footballers in the English Premier League, So I have to give it to him. And I also want to give a shout out to Ross Barkley of my side, Chelsea. He came on with a
Ooh.
couple minutes. Yes, I mean, and that's the thing. Ross Barkley had a couple good passes that eventually led to our goal. In the third goal, in the second goal. And you know how I feel about Ross Barkley, but he came on, he did his job, and allowed us to kind of, beat up Southampton.
We're gonna have to raise the standard of these ballers of the week because Ross Barkley making a couple good passes get ball of the week. Junior, who you have as your ball of the week? Probably big up Dalton. Dalton running in say Mo, the Egyptian king Salah, baller. Junior, who you have as your ball of the week?
You know, when I was doing my therapy and the therapist was telling me that the days will be brighter. Kapue from Villarreal gave a master class lesson in playing central defensive midfield in the midweek. Yes, they lost to Manchester United, but that brother played some beautiful football. It's almost Conte-like. So I have to give it to him. I have to also give it to Jurgen Klopp. We were in our group talking today and saying we don't see where Liverpool goal going to come from. It's just a matter of time at halftime. What are the changes that should be made? Milner was getting killed. Liverpool did not make any changes. They came out a different team though in the second half. So all hats off to Jurgen Klopp showing that he still has a pulse of his team. Even though they tied the game 2-2 at home, it still showed me that Jurgen Klopp is still in full control at Liverpool.
And who else in control, Junior?
Well, ask only that question. But my therapist need to relax.
We're talking about good coaches and bad coaches here. Ole is not in the class of one, Mr. Jurgen Klopp, baller, big up himself. My ball of the week, I cannot imagine you guys handing out ballers and not bigging up Sheriff. What is that? Sheriff Terapolsi.
Moldova.
Yes, from what? Uzbekistan? Where are they from?
It's Moldova. They're the Moldovan champions.
Oh, Moldova. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. But ball of the week to that team, the lowest ranked team in the Champions League, are Menos, and they beat the big bad Real Madrid. So how can we give ballers of the week and not acknowledge them? Big up to that team. Excellent. Sebastian Hill and family sneaking out a victory, and surprisingly, they're leading the group after 2 match days. All right, let's get to our bugs of the week. Football family, keep sending your ballers and bugs. We'll highlight them. We'll read them out. We have a lot to get to. Eric, who do you have as your bug unimpressive players of the week?
Well, I'm going to go from the same match. It's going to be a player and a manager. That Manchester United Everton match. Jordan Pickford, one of Jordy's Newcastle fans' favorite targets from his connection to Sunderland. He only has tiny arms. He's just the worst. I don't know how he gets anywhere near the England national team. Terrible keeper. He's definitely my bug of the week. But Ole, I think you brought it up a little bit. Ole, how do you leave Ronaldo on the bench? I can only think that the PE teacher was expecting that somehow they just had enough and they were going to steamroll Rafa Benitez and Everton. And it backfired. I mean, they are two different teams, Manchester United, with Ronaldo and without Ronaldo. One is a team that could compete for everything, and one is the team that drew with Everton. So that's my bugs of the week.
Bugs of the week, Ole getting one, the PE teacher. And Dalton, my apologies. Dalton say, yo, you need to read all my ballers, them. My apologies, Dalton. Dalton's ball of the week quote is Mo, the Egyptian king Salah, the bees of Brenton and Sheriff. End quote. My apologies, Dalton. Let's continue our ballers and bugs. Let's get to the bugs. Continue our bugs of the week. Eric already gave Ole the bug of the week. Come on, who do you have? Can't say Ole. It's too easy.
No. I'm going to give it to Leicester City. Leicester City had a wounded Crystal Palace to beat, and they were up 2-0 halftime and allowed Crystal Palace to come back and tie that game 2-2. So they should actually get it. I'm not going to give West Ham because Brentford is really playing out of their mind. But I think, yeah, so I'm not giving anything else. PSG and Barcelona, I don't know how much longer Koeman is going to be at the wheel for Barcelona, but you lost to Atletico Madrid and you were outplayed by a player that you said was not good enough for Barcelona. So they really take it a buck. And I don't know what's going on with PSG. You cannot have Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, and let us show in Di Maria because I'm being generous today. You cannot have these kind of players on your team and you're losing to a little regular dibby style. It just don't work. So PSG, Barcelona, and Crystal Palace, those are my bugs.
Bar is really low with Barcelona. They're perennial bugs this year. And with PSG lost the runs. We'll discuss that in our football roundup. Junior, who do you have as your bugs of the week, family?
Train wreck that we've seen coming. This season is a lot of train wrecks that we see coming. Barcelona is a train wreck that we saw coming, and it's just constantly coming. The train is officially off the rails. It's just a matter of time for people just go out there and say, you know what? Let's pronounce everything dead and start over. So Barcelona for sure. I also want to give it to Fred. It's easy on the target, but my therapist said I have to be honest. So I have to give it to Fred. Fred, what the hell were you thinking on giving away that goal? Made the Maya Gray 1, beat it to the ball, 2, bunks you off the ball, and 3, run away from you, and you are a central defensive midfielder. But my therapist said I'm okay now. So Fred.
Imagine Manchester United fans are take step of Barcelona. Wow. The train is off the rail according to the Manchester United fan. Barca get the bug of the week along with Fred from Junior. Dalton said bug is patty sharp. Barcelona and Arsenal as usual. Yo, Barcelona definitely kind of dark. We'll discuss Ronald Koeman's future. I get the thoughts later on in the show. My bugs of the week are more importantly one bug. I'll just go with one bug because we're limited on time today. Dan Juma, I think, or Dan Homa is left side playing left of a front three for Villarreal in that game against Manchester United in the Champions League. Brother, how many times are you going to beat the wing back, the right back? How many times are you going to beat him? Get in on goal and do foolishness. Bugs of the week sort of display from a professional football. I mean, these are simple passes with just picking out a teammate in the box. It's just simple 1, 2, 3 football. So he get the bug of the week from me. And I cannot believe they awarded him the Man of the Match award. He was that important in terms of getting in the final third for Villarreal. But his decision making was woeful. So he gets a bug of the week for me. And of course, Villarreal lost the game to Manchester United with a Cristiano Ronaldo goal at the death. All right, let's get to our football roundup and start with the big news coming out of Watford. Watford is a club that keep on changing. New manager. Watford sacked coach Zico Muniz after what? 7 games. Eric, your thoughts on this? Football family, your thoughts on this? We saw this coming. Well, knowing that Watford has what? This is their 13th change since 2012. 7 games, they're sitting in 4th position. Your thoughts on this surprising move?
I feel like sometimes you just don't give people enough time. You look at Southampton, who have been very up and down, but somehow always seem to finish well clear of the relegation zone, even though they at times it's like, oh, they're going down for sure. They've taken how many of those 9-1 beatings in the last couple of years? But they stick with the manager, and there's a stability there that I think you can appreciate. Now, with Watford, I think what it is, they're like, we're going to invest some money. We're going to try and stay in the Premier League, and so we need someone who we think is up to it. I thought they've played decent football. I think they have some good players. I don't understand the panic. Somehow, Newcastle have Steve Bruce, and his job is safe. So to me, until he goes, I think everybody's job should be saved. So I don't know. I feel like they may have pulled the trigger a little prematurely on this one.
Come on, your thoughts on this move. I mean, it's just Watford doing Watford thing.
I mean, I don't know what to expect. It's Watford. And I had to, when I saw that they fired the coach, I had to go and look to see if it was the Chelsea owner who was also a part owner of Watford. Because this makes no sense. This is like what the Russian likes to do. He likes to fire coaches. And you're correct. You know, they have to be stable. And at some point, we have to realize that changing the coaches really don't change the team if you don't have the players to carry out the job on the field. Maybe the coach and the owner had a disagreement in regards to the direction of the club. But firing him, it makes no sense at this point. And I think they're talking about bringing Claudio Ranieri. He was the less. So I think they're hoping for a miracle. I just say that I think they're hoping for a miracle. And I don't think they'll necessarily get that with the quality players that they have.
The club put out a statement, says Watford confirms Cisco Muniz has left. Cisco Muniz has left his post as the club's head coach. The board feels recent performances strongly indicate a negative trend at a time when team cohesion should be visibly improving. Junior, what kind of visibly improving? They're in 14. What them expect?
Nah, it's obvious there's more to this story, and I really, really think Sarr is in the middle of this conspiracy. I really think that
Ismail Sarr.
Yes, I really think the player decisions, COVID affecting the transfer market, teams can't really turn over the budgets, blah 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 blah. And the coach probably coming out now and saying, hey, we're at 14th, we can be better, but we need to bring in more signings. And the typical, we don't have any money conversation probably came up, and the choice words are probably used, and they say, you know what, let's just part ways right now. It just feels that way to me. It feels like a band-aid is being put on a very bad situation. And it's kind of sad because they just came back in the league, right?
Yes, he joined them in December 2020 and got them promoted. So I mean, and Robbie Earl and the NBC SN Sports crew alluded to something like this, where there's a theory that they already had in mind probably a manager they wanted, a Premier League sort of experienced manager to come in place, but they wanted to reward Mr. Muniz with the Premier League feel for getting them there. Do you guys buy that foolishness?
No.
So
We'll give you a taste if somehow you do a Brentford and then you get way more than expected, then we'll keep you. But if not, you're out. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Claudio Ranieri is reported to be on the short list. There's nothing official yet. Your thoughts on the potential Claudio? I mean, surely Watford is not going to win the league.
But they won't be, but they're hoping that they won't be 14th. If you run through the list of coaches that they've had, I think one person lasted 2 games, but I think it was because he said he had chest pains. But coaching Watford would give you chest pains. So yes, that 2 games in charge, seems right. But they have 36 games in charge, 44 games. I mean, if you are a manager, would you take the job? You know what? Let me not ask that question, because Nuno is the prime example of that question. I would not take Watford's coaching job if it was the last job on earth, if I was a coach, because you just don't last long. And I think if you use Brentford as an example, why not allow the coach to continue to keep the team together, to gel. I don't know what more gel them if he wants. They got promoted to the Premier League. Let the man coach.
Yeah.
So how long before Troy Deeney get a call?
How long before Troy Deeney? All right, let's move away to the match of the week.
Hold on a second. A call for what?
Coach.
Really, you know who Troy Deeney reminds me of? Joey Barton. Anybody who hired Troy Deeney as a coach need to go and look at on Joey's thing.
I won't have you talking bad about Joey Barton. I love Joey Barton.
No, Joey Barton rabbit hole right now. Let's segue to the match of the week. Man City versus Liverpool, the two Goliaths in the English Premier League for the last few seasons. Your thoughts on this game? Ended 2-2. The big controversy is it said that James Milner should have gotten a second yellow and settled it.
Yeah, it's Dave and I were messaging back and forth during this match, and all he wanted to talk about was Mo Salah and what, you know, a world-class player he is and all of this. I don't think you can separate out the player performances and the refereeing and say, oh, no, everything was perfect. The refereeing had a distinct outcome on that match. And it wasn't just the yellow card. It was Phil Foden getting fouled on the edge of the box, trying to stay on his feet, and then not getting a call because he tried to stay on his feet. You know, the refereeing was obviously lopsided towards Liverpool. I don't know how much of that has to do with it, you know, having fans back in the stands and it being in Anfield, but I think it was a very well played match by both sides, and I think you know, to that end, yes, it was a fair result, but you just can't overlook the effect that those refereeing decisions had on the match. I think if it would have been, you know, refed a little bit more equally, that Manchester City probably would have came on top.
Pep Guardiola says it's Anfield and, quote, it's a yellow card. Come on, you're the referee. I mean, maybe the referee just giving the James Milner a pass. He's a good steward of the game.
Hold on, Klopp said it was a yellow card?
No, Pep says it's a yellow card.
It was a yellow card. And I think referees are human beings as well. And I guess what they tell us in class is that we have to follow the rules, but also follow the spirit of the game. And I asked the instructor, I'm like, you have to tell me what you mean by the spirit of the game, because I have seen referees deliberately, you know, help with games. Like the Atletico, I think it was the Atletico Madrid game. No, it wasn't. It was the AC Milan game, right? Then the referee kind of imposed himself a little bit in that game and kind of affected the outcome of the game. Yes, Milner is a stalwart. You know, in England, he's older, he's respected, but it should have been a yellow card. And the fact that the Klopp decided to pull him after that, it shows that he knows that he was teetering on the edge. Yeah. Because Foden had Miller, you know, I mean, wrapped around his finger the entire game. So for you to pull him out from then, you know, it definitely was something that needs to be looked at. So the referee was really lopsided, I agree. It should have been a yellow, a second yellow, which would have been a red, and maybe it would have influenced the game. But let us be fair. Manchester City was balling Liverpool for the first 20 minutes of the first half, and they didn't capitalize. And now you have to see that Pep really and truly need to go out there and find a number 9. And I hope it's not Harry Kane. I really think he needs to get somebody who will help Manchester City over that hump.
Yeah, so as it pertains to the game itself, you know, Junior, Man City came away with a tie at the end. I mean, Mohamed Salah with a fantastic goal. Big winners for you from this game, or is it just Chelsea, the fact that none of them surpassed them at the international break? No one was able to win this game.
The big winner is the Premier League, because for the first time in years, we're going to have a real title race with 3 teams really sensibly fighting for this championship, with a 4th team possibly, but it's really between 3 teams.
Who's the 4th team?
My therapist said not to go through going on that route.
Yeah, West Ham are doing very good this season.
Yes,
right.
West Ham was
yeah. But in all fairness, speaking about the yellow card too, the commentator curse kind of came into effect, because early in the game, you remember the commentator said, I don't remember the referee's name now, but He hasn't given a red card in so many minutes and so many games, and he refuses to give red cards. He said it early in the game, and the opportunity presented itself, and we all sitting here shocked. No, but yeah, I agree with Cameron that Man City needs a number 9. I think.
Does Man City really need a number 9, or is it Pep? Sorry to
And
interrupt.
if you have to ask that question, you have not been watching Man City play.
So hear me out. Hear me out, please. Sorry to interrupt you, Joe. Does Man City really need a number 9, or is the fact that Pep keeps doing this false 9 foolishness? They signed Jesus to be a 9, right? Why not just play him down the middle? I mean, this idea of doing Jack Grealish down the middle today, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I don't. Jack Grealish doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, for $100 million, you figure you really could have gone out and gotten almost any player in the world. I'm kind of agreeing. They do need a 9. He refuses to play with one because they don't have a proper one. Jesus is not it. He's not the deadly kind of finisher. I think they should have taken that Grealish money, whatever they had in the piggy bank, saved up to try and get Harry Kane away from Spurs, which I think you're right, they dodged the bullet. I don't think that was going to be the solution either. And they should have gone after Haaland. I'm telling you, Haaland is one of those rare, just assassin, deadly goal scorers. It doesn't matter where you put him. Anything that comes around the scraps, the good service, it doesn't matter. He's going to finish everything. And on a team like that, he's technically good enough that he can play it on a Pep Guardiola team. But he could just stand there at the 18 and just start bagging them 2 or 3 a match for the whole season. He wouldn't even have to run or do anything.
Yeah.
They provide so much service and so many opportunities. So I think if they ever want to win the Champions League, they are going to have to. They can probably win the Premier League without it, but this is where they're going to fall short. They're going to get in against someone like Chelsea who can sit back, low block, make you work for it, and without that deadly finisher, they're never going to get over that hump.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say they don't need a 9. But I think if you have Jesus, who's the closest thing you have to a 9, why don't just play him in that position? Because I think he's much more effective than a Jack Grealish in that position.
Absolutely.
But then the question that you ask of Jesus is, all right, if in Man City system, look at a number 9, the Aguero. Look at how Aguero plays. Can Jesus play similar to Aguero? The answer is no. He doesn't fit. He doesn't have the physicality. He cannot play with his back to the goal. He doesn't have that quick first step in a phone booth, right? So I think that is what Pep sees and is trying to give him a running start from the wing. Yes, when he put him down the middle today, Virgil and I think it was Matip had to respect him, which gave Foden the space on the right?
Yeah.
That is because Grealish does not have the positional awareness to step up in and occupy Virgil and Matip because he wants to come short and get the ball. I think Sterling is actually the best number 9 for Man City right now.
Okay. Step away from the glue, Junior. What's that?
No. Again, think about Aguero and what Aguero brought. Forget about the goal. We know Sterling's first touch is horrible. We understand that. But being a threat in small spaces, when a team possesses the ball this long and have the ability to play on the shoulder of the last defender and make a darting run in space, Sterling is actually the fastest one that have the quickest time or speed in the shutter speed. So I would put him there, honestly.
Come on, talk some sense into this. We know they need a 9, but overall, you get the final say on this Liverpool Man City game and this lack of playing Jesus down the middle.
Listen, Junior, I don't know what you're drinking. I mean, like, you're just like you're coming from a party.
It's therapy. It must be the therapy.
Yeah, and she gave you some wine. She gave you some Jesus juice. Because Raheem Sterling today, he came on, yes, when it comes to speed, Raheem Sterling is speed, but when it comes to finishing, you know, like you have some strikers that you can really put your pot on fire to say, okay, this is it, this is going in. Raheem is not that person. And I think we are getting to see that because Pep is not trusting Raheem as much. And I think he's going to be on the outskirts and he might need to move to another team where he'll get consistent 90-minute games or starts because that's not going to be Raheem. For Jesus, I think I agree with Junior, which is rare on this, and I don't think he's clinical enough. I think for me, I think he's a perfect number 9.5. That he can play behind the striker. I mean, he can turn, he can hold the ball up sometimes, but I don't think he's that person that they need. And we talk about this in the group. I am so puzzled by the Jack Grealish short socks wearing acquisition. I don't think it's a good fit, and I don't know if Pep is into the market for speed and not finishing. You know, as I thought, Chelsea did lose to Manchester City, so I don't know if it's an indication that we need to fix something or Man City is going to come around the corner. Harry Kane is not the solution. Holland is also a good solution. You are correct. I would think Lewandowski would even do a world of good for Pep in this situation. But Sterling and Jesus, they're not the answers to Pep's number 9 problem.
And he've tried Sterling in that role before, and it just hasn't materialized.
Not with Grealish though. That's the difference. Not with Grealish.
Not with that, man. I am tired of this Grealish thing. All right, I've seen enough of it.
Oh, but in all fairness though,
yes,
Man City team, even Giroud would do perfect as a number.
He's a goal scorer.
You don't need Haaland would be a surplus. Haaland would be a waste of money.
You just need a serviceable someone who's serviceable to convert the goals.
There must be a striker in the academy that is 6'2" and can run with some speed. Just put him up top and say, stand right on the last man.
But that don't necessarily equate in goals. I mean, you're taking a baby and putting him into a fast-paced situation where we constantly see Pep in somebody's ears. I don't think an academy player will right now be one that you want to throw into this championship chasing type of thing. I think if Man City was leading maybe with 120 points, and we were in April, then yes, you could talk about bringing some, but he wants a... Now you would have ball for Alan, so all of a sudden you change your mind?
Come on, I think you guys missing the point, missing what I'm saying. They don't need a number 9 to score goals. They need a number 9 to occupy the space. Right now they have 10 outfield positions, and they have 10 outfield or 9 outfield positions being occupied by 10 players, with one missing. That number 9 position is just empty. Just put somebody there. You know what? Put an armchair there with a Manchester City jersey, and Man City will score more goals.
But that's what they're doing with the stupid false 9, and it's not working.
Two players filling one space, but they will figure it out.
Put Justice Donovan.
Where the goals come from? The empty armchair.
Let's pivot away and look at the table before we get to World Cup qualifiers quickly. Liverpool, big winners today, right? The fact that they had so many injuries. Do we agree that Liverpool was a big winner today?
I mean, yes, because really they should have lost that match. So the fact that they're holding on there in second place, I guess I could go with that.
Yeah.
They lost at home and have to travel to Ep8 for the return match. No, they're not big winners.
They're not big winners. Chelsea sitting at the table
They lost at home.
No, they have to play the return match.
Yeah, so it's just...
Listen, remember I said for the first 20 minutes Liverpool could not come out of their half. Remember? They were being peppered by Manchester City. So for them to open up the scoring is a fantastic goal by Mane. And I think this is I think it's a good result. Remember that people were talking about the lack of activity in the transfer market for Liverpool, and people were worried that the bodies are going to be tired. Pep is going to run his players. into the ground. But for Liverpool to come out there and really and truly, go neck and neck with $100 million man Grealish, it just shows that Liverpool fans really don't have anything to worry about. So I think this is more like a loss on Man City's part than Liverpool.
And the fact that Trent Arnold was missing also, he's very integral to them expanding that field.
I don't know, Benson. From Trent start to dread in here, Trent has not been
No, man,
the
he's huge for them in that attacking third, because what he does, he makes that field big, going down that right side, and the defense have to honor him overlapping, and his crosses are spot on. James Milner is not going to do that. James Milner is not going to make that field wide. And Liverpool loves to make the field wide. So I think he was a big miss for them.
If Trent Alexander played today, Man City would have probably scored more goals. That's just the reality.
But the data suggests otherwise, because when he played, Liverpool has dominated Man City.
All right, we will see in return.
Eric, you're the guest. We don't want your thoughts on the fact that Trent was missing today.
Okay, look, I am with you on this one that he is not a defender.
No, he's not.
I don't know why they put him back there. They need to play him on the right wing, and everything would be perfect. The only problems you run into with Trent is when he's asked to play defense. Now, except for 6 matches a year, it works because most of the other teams don't have the quality to break Liverpool down, even if he's not playing his position. But if you're playing Manchester City, it would have been a big problem back there having Trent. Look, I call Liverpool, they're like the sexy Burnley, right? All they do, it's the most predictable thing ever. They get the ball on the right, Trent crosses a 40-yard diagonal boot ball up to the top. You get on the left, you've got Robertson booting it the opposite way, 40 yards of the thing. All it is a sexy Burnley, man. Kick it long and have someone run fast. That's what it is.
No, don't disrespect Liverpool.
Dave's not here to defend himself.
Chelsea sitting at the top of the break, international break. Come on, your side. Lost in the middle of the week, but quickly, your thoughts before we get to World Cup qualifiers.
I do not want Martin Atkinson refereeing my games anymore, and I do not want Mark Dean up there in the booth. I think they have an agenda against my side. Fine. Yes, there was a foul, but my gosh, man, it took us, 5, 6 plays before they took it all the way back. I am happy that Timo Werner scored because he really needed that. I am still not sold on Lukaku. I am sorry. He's good for bullying football, but when it comes to that touch, that turn, that finesse, that caressing of the football, he is just not even there. And the fact that he missed, what was that? 3 yards out, he was staring at the white of the goalkeeper's eyes and still missed that opportunity. I don't know hopefully he's huge for us. He goes on a scoring tear. And I'm happy that Timo Werner kind of lifts his confidence a little bit. Chilwell, I love Chilwell. I really think he's an underrated addition to Chelsea. And I like that TT came out and made the adjustments that we actually needed. Yes, Southampton was down a man, but Chelsea kind of showed their mettle. And we're going to touch back on Ross Barkley because I think he came on and he added an additional spark.
This is not the Chelsea show, Parkside. This is not the Chelsea show. I mean,
we are Champions League winners and we are top of the table.
Here we go again with the Chelsea show. Quick takeaway, Junior and Eric. One quick point at the international break, looking at this EPL table, things that you thought is panning out quickly before we go to World Cup qualifier. Eric.
I think really this, Junior said it best. I'm just excited there's going to be at least a 3-way, if respect to Manchester United. It may be a 4-way race. For once, I think we're going to have the last month of the season actually mean something. And this has been one of the most fun starts to a season that I remember in a long time, except for my Newcastle.
Junior, Chelsea sitting on 16, Liverpool 15, Manchester United and City both on Manchester United, City, Everton and Brighton Albion, Hove Albion on 14 points. Junior, your quick takeaway.
Just strap up your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Trust me. Normally, by Christmas, two teams separate themselves, and then by Valentine's Day, one team separate and run away with it. That's not going to be the case this year. You have a lot of ups and downs, a lot of inconsistencies because all teams seem to be juiced up. And how happy should we be that fans are back in the stands and they are making a difference to the game?
Yeah.
So that's the takeaway.
Let's get through some of the comments as we pivot to CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Big football time. With no more Champions League. We're not going to discuss any Champions League this week. Junior, any comments you want to highlight?
We go to Jamai, just like, come on. Jamai is a Chelsea fan. And he's saying, laugh of the week is Barcelona. Bug of the week is Barcelona. Big up Shamai, sweetie. Big up Shamai saying, you're going to have a great week when Ballchat is active. Bless up. And Jamai is saying, look at the referee for the Chelsea versus Barcelona 2009 Champions League final. Come on, I think that's in reference to your referee comment. Big up to Starboy. Michael saying Kane is going down the same road as Alexis Sanchez. He's not performing, thinking he can force a move away from Spurs, but it might backfire. I actually agree with that.
That sounds like a Manchester United fan comment, you know.
He was wasteful in the first half, cost them 3 points. Grealish 100 million for 5 more free kicks. Typical Lukaku.
100 million for 5 more. CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers return this week. Big game. We have a watch along this Thursday. This Thursday, US versus Jamaica, October 7th. We kick off at 7 p.m. wherever you're watching us now. We're going to be live as the Reggaeboyz get ready for Team USA. The standing is Mexico on 7, Canada 5 points, US 5, Panama 5, Costa Rica, Honduras, El Salvador sitting on 2 points, and Jamaica down a bottom. Eric, your thoughts on 3 match days have occurred so far in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. You're the US fan. I hope Jamaica defeat you guys on Thursday, but your thoughts on 3 match days so far?
So I am a well-known hashtag Berhalter out person. Down here in my basement, I've got it spray painted on the walls. There's really nothing that this person could do. Dave and I talk about this a lot about what if he actually won the World Cup with the United States? Would you still be Berhalter out? And I would still be Berhalter out.
You have an agenda against Greg.
He doesn't call in the right players. He purposely plays people out of position. I can only imagine, just to show how smart he is. It's frustrating. I had a bad feeling when we won those 2 tournaments in the summertime. So it was the Nations League and the Gold Cup that everyone was like, "Oh, we've turned the corner. Look what's happened." But except for the second half that we had in the one match that we won, we really did not look good. And I think that, you've got a player like Joe Scally that's over in the Bundesliga right now with Mönchengladbach, scored a goal on the weekend, like just playing amazing. Can't even get a sniff in this lineup, but somehow we get Paul Areola called in. So my real issue is that I think we have enough to get through, even with the injuries, even with Reina out, even with having Pulisic out. We have enough to get out of qualifying. My concern is that when you get to the big tournament and you're playing France or you're playing Germany or you're playing
Eric, can we qualify first before you're talking about France? Because let me remind you, you didn't qualify for the last World Cup, all right?
I think the only benefit to not qualifying again would be getting rid of Berhalter. I think really we have enough. I think Jamaica has started poorly. I don't think they're completely out of this yet. I really think that there's a chance that you can see in this game on Thursday. You watch, something's going to happen. I'm calling it right now. Draw. It's going to be a 2-all draw, Jamaica and the United States.
Let's take a look at both of these squads. Come on, Junior. It seems like Greg we have an anti-Greg movement here. Greg Berhalter said, quote, "The squad represents a diverse group of talent. We will need to rely on each and every member to navigate through these 3 games. Our focus now is on Jamaica preparing to win that game." Come on, and Junior, how does Jamaica now go about and make sure that Greg and Team USA do not win that game?
Junior, you go first.
Did you watch
The Jamaican fans are, and by the way, Eric, there are those of us who also feel same way about our coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore. There's been a Tapper out movement from jump. Go ahead,
Hey,
Junior.
can we do a swap?
No, we don't want to do a swap.
Be careful what you ask for.
Because we will take that swap in a
No,
heart.
Hey, I will pay for Greg's ticket to Jamaica myself. Okay, I will put it on my card.
So go ahead, Junior.
You know, there's an old, I can't remember. I'm knocking my head trying to remember the analyst's name. There's an analyst from the 80s when Brazil was playing a game and Brazil scored a goal early. There's an old video, and the commentator is like trying to keep everybody hyped up. Yo, you know, Brazil is leading 1-0, but the game is still close. And the analyst said, "No chance." Right now, we are doing the watch along, and people follow the watch along this Thursday. We had a couple thousand people watching the last one live, blah, 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 blah. We want you to come back, all right? And on that day, I'm going to put on my Jamaica hat. But does Jamaica have a chance of beating the United States of America? No chance.
No,
None.
ball around.
Benton, the ball isn't round.
The ball is wrong.
When Berhalter, as bad of a coach as Berhalter is in Eric's eyes, when Berhalter carried that young team to get their butts whipped over in Europe, and I sat on Ballchat and said, look, he is building a very good team.
Okay.
We saw the Gold Cup, and everybody in the Gold Cup, hey, you know, that's America's B team. That's just nowhere near their best team. And they ran Jamaica off the field. What the hell do you think is going to happen on Thursday?
Let's quickly go through the squads for this game coming up on Thursday. US have Johnson, Stephen Turner, goalies Bella, defenders Bella, Brooks, Des, Mackenzie Moore, Ream, Richards, Robinson, 2 Robinsons, and Yedlin. In midfield, they have Acosta, Adams, Buzio, Torrey, Leggett, McKinney. Weston McKinney returns. Weird.
Back.
Musa, Roldan. In forward, they have Aronson, Ariola, Hoppe, Pepe, and Zardis. US team doesn't scare me. Let me go ahead and say that. Yes, the record is not great, but there's nobody in this US team that scares me. The fact that Gio Reyna is missing, I think it's a huge miss. What I was shocked by is that USA defeated Honduras 4-1 in Honduras. That was a shocking defeat. So, say what we want about Greg, he's figuring a way to get victories.
That was in spite of Berhalter. You saw, the first half of that match?
Horrible.
Some of the worst football I've ever seen. And I've coached U5 preschoolers. I've coached high school players. I've never seen anything. We were absolutely dire and lost. And the players, in spite of him, bailed them out of that second half. We didn't even really play well in the second half. We just executed and scored some goals on a couple things. That was not a good match of football.
Jamaica squad, Blake, Barnes, Taylor, goalkeeper, defenders, Lowe, Mariappa, Moore, Pinnock, Powell, Fisher, Lawrence, Brown. Midfielders, we have Johnson, Williams, Camone's favorite player, Javon Watson, Bobby Reed, Tariq McGee, Kamal Roof, and the striker kickers are Flemings, Lowe, Antonio, East, Nicholson, and Andre Gray. Come on, Tapa Whitmore in an interview with Sports Max coach Tapa Whitmore says, to paraphrase, he says, you know what, he takes the blame for the errors that has occurred, and you know what, it's on him. We'll go for it and work. It doesn't matter who we put forward, we just need to go forward and work. He spoke about defensively, his team needs to tighten up at the back. Come on, you're quiet.
Oh, listen, I don't know. I'm not gonna come out like Junior with guns blazing and say, we have no chance. I mean, the ball is round. Anything is possible. We'll have striker bully, Mikel Antonio, which is new. We didn't have him against a USA before, so this is kind of a. But do we have the players to give Mikel Antonio the service so he can score? I don't know what Tapa going to do. Stop play people out of position. Stop pick your friends, and let us just have a good game. Tactically, I don't think Tapa is there 100%. And if he's saying that he's going to learn from his mistake, we'll just wait and I think Canada is a tougher opposition than the USA. But that's just me.
Well, it sounds depressing, eh? The American fans are complaining and the Jamaican fans can't even make up their mind. Go ahead, Junior.
We can put Mikel Antonio, we can put him on the billboards, we can do all of that. Let me tell you why we need to put him on the billboards. Because it's a very strong possibility that the camera will not pan to him on Thursday. We can have the greatest striker in CONCACAF playing. Who the hell is going to get him the ball? And don't give me Tyreek McGee, because guess what?
So he will play Kemar Roof in midfield, and Kemar Roof did start his original career in midfield. Let's not air our dirty laundry in front of the opposition, all right?
remember Craig Butler said that Kemar Roof should not wear the number 7.
Well, yeah, and all right. This is something that we need to, because that's Leon Bailey's number, right? We hire a manager to do a job, whether it's Greg Berhalter or whether it's Theodore Tapa Whitmore. He was hired by the Federation to do the job. I cannot stipulate to these managers, our fans should not stipulate to the managers who they should pick or not pick, right? The fundamental thing for me is results. Is Tapa getting the results? Then if at the end of this match day, 3 match days, the results are not good, then we have to go in a different direction.
Benton, answer your own question. Is Tapa getting the results?
He's gotten the results so far.
Okay. All right. So we're good. So you're saying that we should drop a Lamar Walker for a Javon Watson?
No, we should not drop. And again, I cannot. If the coach says that person makes his team better, then that's a coach have to ride with that. He has to live with that.
You know what it goes to show? Tapa does not watch film. Tapa does not watch Lamar Walker's game, because even last night he had a great equalizer. So I am not sure. Listen, if we are talking about when we started, Greg brought in some old. Who did he bring in that was old? What's him? Liget?
Yes. Areola, Liget. Yeah. And to me, it's like this. If you're bringing in okay, these guys are so good. Like there's one player to me that is played his whole career in MLS that still was like a first choice for a national team every time, and it's Landon Donovan. Everybody else left and pushed themselves. Now, to me, if Areola was that good, if Liget was that good, they would be over there in Europe pushing themselves, because we have 17-year-old kids that are going over and going to Germany and going to France and going to England, going places and pushing themselves. To me, if you're really picking players based off of, okay, these are my best guys, it's my best 23-man squad, I'm going to put my best 11 starting players out there, I don't know how you can justify guys that is their ceiling. I mean, It just
but
doesn't make sense.
didn't Paul go overseas and had to come back because of an injury? I mean, you're not going to pick on my DC United guy, and I don't defend him, even though I think he's okay.
This is a Paul Ariola groupie you're talking to,
Hey.
Eric.
No. I think he is okay. I don't get the hype.
I
mean,
agree. He's
Good
okay.
enough he's good enough for DC. But maybe Greg is thinking, well, these are the two veteran players that I need on the pitch to kind of guide the young one. To me, Yedlin is a veteran. Yedlin has been in this business for a minute. So if you're going to get Leggett and Ariel, I mean, I don't see there are better, younger players that you can build your squad around. The same thing with our coach. Aka is what, 40? I mean, like, and you have a Lamar who is a 22-year-old who plays the same position, and he plays consistent football, but you take the one that does not play consistent football and is older and leave the young one who plays consistent. I just don't get it. And I mean, I don't know. And our coach and Greg, I think they're the same kind of person. So the
Separated at birth.
Yeah.
Twins.
Go ahead, Junior.
I think there has to be something to be said, though. I get what you're saying, Eric, but from my perspective as a non-US fan, I am the opposition looking in. When I look at the history of the United States football team, it's never and I mean this in no disrespect. It's not talent that wins games. There's something to be said about the US spirit, that you watch them play games and you'll be like, I don't know how the hell they're going to win, but they are going to find some way to slip, trip, fall, and knock the ball in the goal. That Klinsmann experiment.
But also too, they're fit. I mean, like they are. I don't know what he does. I don't know if the coach that does the fitness, but they're fit. And you saw it when they played. I think was it El Salvador or Honduras? They were falling over, but the U.S. they were going. What's my guy? My guy from Colorado. He's my favorite guy. He's always fighting. Acosta, Kelly. Yeah. Kelly's always fighting. He's gonna get. I mean, the U.S. players are fit, and I think when the opposition is tired, they tend to make more mistakes, and that's when U.S. pounces on the opposition. So
You know what?
But that's
sorry to interrupt. You bring up a good point, though. Like I gave Bob Bradley a lot of grief when he was the United States national team player, because it was like what you're saying. Technically, we weren't going to outpass Spain, but in the Confederations Cup, we were able to beat Spain, and that was at the peak of their powers when they had been on like a 100-match unbeaten streak, because of what you're talking about, the spirit and the fight and the togetherness. I just don't know that Leggett and Areola are the leaders of the fight. I mean, I don't know. It just
one thing to push back, though, is that Klinsmann experiment. That Klinsmann experiment failed. We have not heard from Julian Green since, when Julian Green was supposed to be the person that is going to shepherd in this new form of the United States soccer, right? Where it was going to be called football. United States was about to play football, and we're going to get rid of this soccer moniker. Because when you play soccer, you're talking about running a mile in 6 minutes or 5 minutes now. That high school teams. I came here in the United States and they said, you're not touching a football. You have to be able to run a mile in 5 minutes before you can even touch a football. Other countries, they laugh at things like that. But that goes to what Come on talk about with fitness. And that goes to when you guys look on some of the players and say, this player isn't good enough, but let him put on that white jersey. They're not going to go down without putting up.
And speaking to that, so this is essential for Jamaica in this game on Thursday, is that they have to play the entire game. They have to play. If it's 95 minutes, it's 93 minutes. They have to play the entire game. Of course, in the Gold Cup matchup, US scored 87-minute goal with Matthew getting over O'Neal Fisher. So those are those intricate details that I don't know. October 7th. Yeah. Go ahead, come on.
That's what's going to happen to us again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm very concerned about.
Listen, our starting players are not starting for their clubs.
Yeah.
They're not playing. Alvarez is going to, be slotted into that starting position, and he has not played a game for Philly in the last 3 games.
Yeah, he has
Only
not.
Fisher has not played for
yeah.
LA Galaxy, and you're going to put him on the pitch. Flemings has not played 90 minutes, and these are the players that we're going to put out there to do what?
Can you please bring me some good news?
Now look, Kelly Acosta, Yedlin is over there in Turkey running people ragged. So it goes to the level of concentration for the entire 90 minutes, and it goes to the level of fitness that we need for the entire course of the game. And then we know that our coach, he does not know how to manage the players. He doesn't know when to make the substitutions. So what is going to happen? Listen, Mikel Antonio is not going to track back. He's not going to defend. So he's going to be up there. Who is going to do the dirty work? We don't have a Corey Burke, who we call a defensive striker, to go back and do the dirty work and bring the ball up. So I think for us, yes, we can eke out the win, but it's going to be hard. And we're going to need an Atkinson type of referee to kind of make the call.
I love, come on, even with all the negative, with all the negatives against a positive result, come on, say, if we can eke out the win.
I think she's absolutely right though about playing the whole 90 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, look at the Mexico match.
Yes, exactly.
You were a minute away from grabbing a point from that.
Exactly. October 7th, USA versus Jamaica, 7:30 p.m. Also, Honduras versus Costa Rica, 8:05 p.m. Mexico versus Canada, and El Salvador versus Panama. Keys to the game for you guys before we wrap up. Keys to the games for you for Jamaica, and keys to the game for you for US. Eric, go ahead. You're the guest.
I think for Jamaica, it is like to play the whole time and to come in and not try and be too defensive. If you give the United States time, they are going to end up breaking you down eventually. But if you come out and punch us in the mouth, that's when we get off track, and that's when things get a little unsettled for us. And so I think the best strategy for you would be come right out and just attack from the beginning and see if you can get an early goal. From the United States perspective, I think it is don't try and do too much. I think one of the downsides of having so many players who are playing at a high level in top 5 leagues around the world is I think they start to believe their own hype. And they don't do what Junior was talking about, like when you put the shirt on and you fight for everything. They're starting to feel themselves a little bit and think, maybe I'm a little bit better than this. Maybe I'm a little bit better than CONCACAF. And CONCACAF will humble you. So I think those players, people like McKinney, people like Adams, those kind of players need to come out and they need to show something from the very beginning, because otherwise you can get run over.
CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, U.S. fans, quote, playing in top 5 leagues in Europe. Imagine, this has been a long time coming. Imagine U.S. football players playing in top 5 leagues in Europe. You guys have come a long way, Eric. Come a long way. Keys to the game for you. Come on. What does Jamaica need to do to win? And what does America need to do to make sure them lose?
For us, we have to keep the ball. I mean, that's one of our biggest issues. We are not keeping possession of the ball. It's like hot potty. So we get it, hot potty. So we get it, so we give it away. So we have to possess the ball. We have to be focused for the entire 90 minutes. We can't have those lapses. We have lapses in judgment, and we just have mental lapses where people running by us, people jumping over us. So we have to eliminate those. And Tapa really needs to manage his men. If he sees where somebody's out there getting beat, he needs to make the substitution or make the switch. Stop playing players out of their position, and we just need to see if we can play the ball through the midfield and stop going through the wings all the time. For America, I just need them to give us 3 penalties, and that's it. Call it George. But they're not that careless. And for America, just keep possession. If they pressure us, if they pressure us, if they keep attacking us, I think that we will eventually break down if they keep coming at us.
The junior keys to the game for you. Come on, does Ethan Pinnock and Damian Lowe starts in that centre back position?
They should, but isn't Ethan Pinnock injured?
I know he picked up a knock in the Brentford game, so let's see.
I don't think he played today. I have to double check. But Damien, and I think Damien has a little knock as well. Not to give away, the injury report.
Yes, don't give the enemy no sort of.
I won't tell Greg. Don't worry.
but we need Ethan Pinnock and we need Damian Lowe to marshal the back. I am concerned about the Alvarez Powell thing because I think you can be fit, you can be training fit, but game day fit is kind of different.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit worried about our back line.
Would you play Javian Brown instead of Alvarez Powell?
I would.
Okay.
Javian has been playing minutes for Vancouver. He has been instrumental in a couple victories, and he has done. I think he deserves an opportunity until he shows that he does not want that position. But I think that spot is up for grabs.
International break. Keys to the game for you, Junior. Jamaica versus USA this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. The Reggaeboyz versus Uncle Sam.
It's going to sound contradictory, and I'm sorry, but it's going to be a contradicting game. For Jamaica, slow the game down in the first 10 minutes of each half. Slow the game to a crawl, right? And then try to use your speed going forward once you get your feet in the game. From United States perspective, we know Craig Berhalter is scared to death of the Jamaican speed. We know Craig Berhalter does not want to be in a track meet, pun intended, versus Jamaica, because Sha'Carri is not available to play wing. But we know Craig doesn't want to get in a track meet, so he has to win the midfield. It would not surprise me if he played 3-5-2. Yeah, honestly, it won't surprise me. And I would really hope Tapa has the sense to just bypass the midfield if they play 3-5-2, go 4-3-3, bypass Tyler Adams. He's going to try to control the game. That's where this game is going to be won or lost, is in the middle of the park. The United States are going to try to control the speed of the game, the tempo of the game. All Jamaica has to do is survive the first 10 minutes of each half and make the game boring in that first spell, and then you try to look to break on the counter.
CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers upcoming match day 4, October 7th. USA versus Jamaica, Honduras versus Costa Rica, El Salvador versus Panama, Mexico versus Big Bad Canada. Match day 5, October 10th. Jamaica plays Canada. Panama versus USA. Costa Rica versus El Salvador. Mexico versus Honduras. Match day 6, October 13th. USA plays Costa Rica. Canada versus Panama. Honduras versus Jamaica. El Salvador versus Mexico. Watch along this Thursday. Final prediction before we go on my yard. Eric, you're the guest, so you have to predict Jamaica win. But your official prediction?
My official prediction is 2-2 draw, and we will give up the goal for the draw in the 93rd minute. It'll be heartbreaker.
Can we squeeze you some more money or something for a victory there, Eric?
I can't do it. If anyone wins, it's going to be Jamaica. I just don't see it. I'm telling you, a lot of cracks were papered over with that 4-1 in Honduras.
A lot of cracks were papered over. Come on, official prediction. We're in desperate times. Jamaica needs something this Thursday. Official prediction for you, come on.
2-1 USA.
2-1 USA. 2-1 USA. Junior, official prediction.
Going to be a boring 0-0 draw.
A boring 0-0 draw. Football family, before we go, Eric, tell the people about your podcast, Two Rash Challenges podcast, drop every Monday, all things football, how people can listen to it. Tell the people about the show so we can continue to listen to Dave complain about Newcastle.
Yes. So join us. Usually the show will come out on Mondays. It's my co-host, Dave Lewis, and I. He's a Liverpool fan. I'm a Newcastle fan. We have our crack reporter from Geordie Nation there in Newcastle, Andrew Wells, come on each week. We have an app that we like to use called Perfect Picks app. You can predict matches. It's just for fun. And we like to break down the Premier League. We talk some MLS for our hometown Columbus crew. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms. And find us on Twitter at @rash_podcast.
Yeah, big up yourself. Looking forward to tomorrow's episode to hear what you guys will discuss. Eric, really appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. Really, really appreciate it.
My
And
pleasure.
bad luck to you guys on Thursday. I hope Jamaica kick out in the teeth.
Yeah. Hey, I hope you win, and I hope that causes Berhalter out.
Well, we're on the same page. Let's get Berhalter out. Jamaica victory, let's get Berhalter out. Football family, we have a watch along this Thursday, USA versus Jamaica, 7 p.m. We kick off 7 p.m. on wherever you're watching us. On Tuesday, on Sunday, we go again against Canada, Jamaica versus Canada. Watch along at 6 p.m. wherever you're watching us. On Wednesday, we go again against Honduras, 7:30 p.m. Watch along. Hopefully, they won't be too depressing. Hopefully, Jamaica need a victory. Football family, you can connect with us on social media, Twitter, Ballchat Podcast on Instagram, and Ballchat1 on Twitter. You can make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel, please, family. Junior, come on. We're gone. I road now, family.
All right, Eric, let's up. All right, Benton, come on later.